G'day mates, Cake11 here, and welcome to the 1997 San Marino Grand Prix, the fourth round of the 1997 Formula 1 season. Now, before we begin today, I just want to point out recent events that happened in last weekend's Japanese Grand Prix, particularly Marussia driver Jules Bianchi has had a serious accident in the closing stages, coming into Dunlop Corner, which I think is turn 7 of the track. He spun off the track in atrocious conditions and crashed into a recovery tractor that was recovering the Sauber of Adrian Sutil, who crashed earlier on the same corner. Now, that incident and the weather caused the race to be red flagged, and Bianchi was taken to the nearby Mie General Hospital, where he underwent surgery for severe head injury. But the last bit of news I have heard that he has gone through surgery and is breathing normally, but he's still in a critical condition. So good news there, and very best wishes to him to making a full recovery and hopefully back to Grand Prix racing. Anyway, to the track. Today we're going to be racing on the famous Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, named after the father-son duo that was behind Ferrari, particularly Enzo. Just outside of Bologna, Italy, Imola, in Italy, which is only, I think about to say, not too far distance from San Marino country itself, but under Formula 1 rules, back then it gave Italy the right to host 2 Grand Prix in the same country within a year. The only other country to do that is Germany, with Hockenheimring with German Grand Prix, and also the Nürburgring with the Luxembourg Grand Prix later in this season. In the real life San Marino Grand Prix, it was a big achievement for Benetton's Gerhard Berger with his 200th race start, which elevated him in a very relatively exclusive club of long-time Formula 1 drivers. I would think back then that was a feat that was relatively uncommon, but today there's like almost a dozen drivers that have beaten him to that, one of which is my teammate Rubens Barrichello. He retired after doing, I think, 320-ish races over his almost 20-year career, so congratulations to Gerhard for that. He was obviously quite a well-known and much-loved figure in the Formula 1 paddock. Now to the race itself, quite a predictable grid formation with Jacques Villeneuve and Heinz-Harald Frentzen in second place, locking up the front row from Williams again. And following behind them on the second row was Michael Schumacher. The race, compared to the first 3, it was relatively incident-free, although about half the grid over the course of the weekend were out of the race due to mechanical problems, including Villeneuve. He went out towards the end with gearbox trouble, giving the win to Frentzen, which I believe was his first victory after surviving a late charge from Michael Schumacher. So with that said, obviously Michael Schumacher got second for Ferrari, and coming in third place was Eddie Irvine. So really good result, and particularly for the Tifosi here in Imola, really good result. And those results push up Schumacher and Frentzen up the Drivers' Championship. To see them, those two, only a handful of points behind Villeneuve. So in real life, the competition was really heating up. Which, on that note, we look to our standings. We have Jacques Villeneuve in a very commanding lead on 30 points after winning all the races this year at Australia, Brazil, and Argentina. And following behind him in second place is Gerhard Berger. Now, despite his 2 good races in Australia and Brazil, he failed to score in Argentina. I can only think that he retired due to mechanical fault, but we do not know. Following behind Berger is Eddie Irvine after scoring keeping up a good scoring positions in the last 2 races. See him just behind Berger in 3rd place. And following on behind him to keep up a particular Benetton Ferrari battle that we're seeing here is Jean Alesi and Michael Schumacher on 8 and 7 points respectively. The pattern we see here of Benetton Ferrari. See those two fighting out finally at 1 or 2 points in the Constructors' Championship, which we're going to get to next. Frentzen follows in 6th place after he scored 4 points in Argentina, finally giving Villeneuve the support he needs. And then after Frentzen, we got Olivier Panis on 3 points, Giancarlo Fisichella on 2 points, and David Coulthard on 1 point. Kent Levin is yet to score a point on 0 points, and hopefully we can get a much better result here in Imola than what we did in Buenos Aires. And onto the Constructors' table. Williams has pulled out a massive lead over the Benetton by 14 points thanks to the combined efforts of Villeneuve and Frentzen. And because of that, Benetton is now fighting to defend its position against Ferrari instead of attacking Williams, because Benetton is now 2 points ahead of Ferrari after Ferrari's excellent showing in last race. And following behind them, we have Prost, Nugent Honda on 3 points, Jordan Peugeot on 2 points, and McLaren on 1 point. So it may be a little bit of a battle there, but it's still early days, and there are still a few drivers further down that could score some points in the next few races, so we shall see. Still, Stewart is yet to score a point, which I would really like to score a point soon, considering my good showing earlier on, and now they're in the European season with races, tracks that I know, I should be able to get a good position. And with that, let's have a look at the starting grid for today's race. Right, on the starting grid we have Jacques Villeneuve followed by Michael Schumacher by over a second. Wow, Villeneuve must have been flying out there. Unbelievable. Then it's Frentzen, Alesi, Irvine, Fisichella. Then it's Gerhard Berger with 266. Schumacher again, now with the time starting to spread out, followed by both McLarens. 11th, we got Olivier Panis again, mid-range for the Prost team. Barrichello, my teammate, 24.3. That is a good result for him. And following near the pack, we've got myself, 255.12. So towards the end of the pack, not a very good lap. But then again, I didn't have a much big of a practice. My engine caught fire, not even doing a single lap. So as far as training for this track, yeah, I didn't get as much time I would have liked. Although I did, rest assured, I did use the training mode on this to have an idea of the track, and there were times I could have gotten better time, but various things didn't see me do it. If anything, I could have gone up maybe a place, maybe 2. Yeah, something around Herbert's time, 124.772. But even still, 15th, 16th, I'm starting to get a feeling that that's going to be the norm for me this season. So, but it's not like that I'm unhappy. 10th is I want to aim for anyway. I'm not expecting to get any points this season. So with that, this should be in for a good race. So sit back and let's enjoy this San Marino Grand Prix.
Well, we're nearly ready for the start now. The drivers are on the grid.
Really good. 3, 2, 1, go. And for a second I thought I lost the place. Okay, shut up, Carl. Oh, I'm on the grass. Oh, Vaughn!
It's Magnussen. That was a
And I
very
think
heavy
that collision
with
would
the
see
Alfa.
me
Let's
at
hope
the
he's
race
all right.
very quickly. As much as I feel like that I should restart the race, I'm doing this my F1 career. I have to expect collision like this, so I'm gonna have to retire.
That's a...
I out of the race, and I haven't even done 300 meters. That is a really big shame, considering that I started the season for the first 2 races going well. But then last race, I didn't go as well as I would have liked. And now with here, I crash out. So I think I need to do a lot of soul searching in my pit if I want to prep myself for the next race and for the rest of the season. Because if this is the norm for me, then I don't have much hope in Formula 1. And with that, here are the results. Jacques Villeneuve wins quite well again, with almost 5 seconds ahead of Eddie Irvine. So obviously he led and didn't look back, so congratulations to him. Following in second place, we have Eddie Irvine. And a further 5 seconds behind, we got Michael Schumacher. So Ferrari 2 and 3. So it's looking like that Ferrari is sure to be definitely second in the championship, and also Irvine second in the championship, followed by Schumacher. Both Benettons are going to go down for sure. Following behind those two, we got Heinz-Harald Frentzen. So keeps the point scoring up for Williams and withholds their lead. And following behind them was Junko Fisichella, 5th place, 2 points to the Jordan team. That will be much needed for the team. And then Jean Alesi, so 1 point to Benetton, but considering Berger didn't score and only scoring 1, Benetton's on the slide down. As you can see, DNF as soon as the race began. So big shame for me. Maybe I should have, instead of attacking so much, scaled back and concentrated on staying on the track rather than skid. But this is my first year, so I am expected to make mistakes like this. But Michael Schumacher got the fastest lap with a 1:21.93. And now in the driver's standings, we have Jacques Villeneuve in the lead again, continuing his lead actually with 40 points. Very good effort from him, and he seems to be running away with the championship. If he keeps winning like this, he might just have straight wins throughout the championship. I don't think that's ever happened before. I'll have to look on the info on that. However, Eddie Irvine finally assumes second place with 17 points. Berger failing to score for a second race in a row, fell down to 3rd place, just ahead of Michael Schumacher. So Berger really needs to up his game in the next few rounds if he wants to stay in possible title contention. Although looking at how Villeneuve's going, I have my doubts. And like I said then, Michael Schumacher moves up, passes Jean Alesi to move up to 4th place with 11 points, 1 point behind Berger and 2 points ahead on Alesi. Alesi now needs to deal with Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who, with his 4th place, has moved into 6th position, or actually withholds his 6th position, with 7 points, 2 points behind Alesi. And following behind them, we have Junko Fisichella jumping ahead of Olivier Panis to assume 7th place with 4 points. And then following behind him is Panis on 3 and David Coulthard from McLaren on 1 point. And as predicted, I come in still yet to score on 0 points, which I really hope I can get at least 1 point scoring position this year. If I can do that, then I'll be a happy man. And in the Constructors' Championship, Williams, like Villeneuve, is running away with the championship with 47 points, scoring 13 from that result in Imola. But however, Ferrari, like Irvine, has bunny-holed Benetton to assume 2nd place in the championship by 7 points. They are now on 28, and in total 19 points behind Williams Renault. Looks like a few wins will need to be needed for Ferrari if they want to catch Williams and create a battle for the World Championship. If they do, I'll be very eager to see it. The other big mover in the Constructors' standings sees Jordan pass Prost to assume 4th in the championship for only just 4 points. By considering the big gap between them and Benetton, I would say they don't have a chance, but they have a chance. If Benetton keeps the progress they got now, Fisher Keller keeps up his good work, and maybe even Ralph Schumacher scoring a point or two, you may see Jordan move up, maybe past Benetton. Following on from that, we have Prost, Mugen, Honda on 3 points, failing to score this round, and McLaren, Mercedes in 6th place with 1 point, failing to score this round as well. And following behind them is, of course, Stewart on 0, along with Arrows Yamaha, Sauber Petronas, Tyrrell Ford, and Minardi Hart. So there we have it. This 1997 San Marino Grand Prix was over before it began. I apologize for those expecting a decent race, but as I said so in a few previous videos, I need to distinguish between which is a race-ending crash and which is just a minor kerfuffle. And things like this do happen in an F1 career. I really need to sit down and have a good hard look at myself and train very hard for the next race, which is of course Monaco, a jewel in the F1 crown. And crashing there, I'm not sure how that will go for me. But with that, I'll leave you guys to it, and I'll see you then in Monte Carlo.